I put the stick under it, and Simba goes crazy.
Stella, Splash, Simba, Boo, Sammy, Richard, Nancy, Goldie, Ziggy, Ringo, Eva, Hydrox, and Ditto, the Lucky Ferals.
It is 6:30 a.m. and here's Splash. He's still in bed right now. But I wanted to document something, and that is the fact that Splash did not howl at all last night. It was so nice. How you doing, Splashy? So I decided to change things up a little bit last night. So Splash and Simba had their dinner, and then a while later, their first snack of the evening was a squeeze up. So they each had a squeeze up. A little while after that, I was eating a popsicle, and Simba kept looking at me and looking at me and looking at me. And I was like, what do you want, Simba? You want a popsicle? So then I remembered that I had a churu in my freezer, and the cats have had that as a popsicle in the past, and that's why it was in my freezer. It was in there a long time. So I was like, okay, I'll give you a popsicle. So I gave them a frozen churu. They enjoyed that so much. They shared it, and they were just like licking it and licking it and licking it. They really, really enjoyed that frozen churu. So that was good. And then a little while later, Splash was kind of meowing at me because he wanted his crunchy mouse. So I was like, okay, I'll give you guys one each. So they each got a crunchy mouse. Simba didn't want his at first, but then later he ate it. And then what I decided to do right before I went to bed was I was like, okay, I'm going to give you guys the snacks that you would get in the feeder at 4 a.m. So for the past several months, they've been getting a little tiny snack in the automatic feeder at 4 a.m. So I took their snacks out and I gave it to them before I went to bed. And I said, let's see if they'll get through the night and if no one will vomit in the morning. They should be able to do that because it's only going to be like 7 or 8 hours. So that's what I did. And the other thing I did is I left the TV on overnight. I didn't leave a show on. I just left I don't know, I guess it's like a screensaver on it. At first I left a video on of the night sky. But I guess after a certain while, if there's no activity on the TV, then it defaults to a screensaver. So I have to look into the settings on that to see how to make that go longer. But I left it on as kind of like a night light. So maybe that helped also. I'm sure that was maybe like the biggest help. So I need to look into some kind of non-LED light that I could keep on in that room, but not a bright one, like a nightlight kind of. But I don't really have outlets there that I could plug a nightlight into, so I need to see what other options there are. Maybe by having more light on in the house at night, it'll make Splash feel more secure and he won't howl. Or maybe it was just a rare occurrence that he didn't howl last night. I don't know. But I'm going to put together their morning snack now. It's 8 a.m. Here's Simba. He's getting brushed. How you doing, Simba? How you doing, Simba? So it ends up that Splash did not eat his snack cup last night. What would normally be in the automatic feeder overnight. That's what I gave the cats before I went to bed. And I just found it in the living room. He didn't eat it. So that's not the reason why he did not howl last night. So I guess it was the fact that I left the TV on. So we're going to try a similar experiment tonight and see how that goes. And this morning, the cats had a churu snack. And I put the standard process supplement in it, the muscular skeletal support that the vet had given to Simba. And for a while, Simba was taking it, but then it got to the point where every time I put it into a snack or a food for Simba, he would not eat it. So I was like, okay, I won't give it to him. So I moved to
some other supplements. That's when I purchased the green muscle powder, because in the standard process supplement, it has green muscle powder, and it also has Boswellia, and I was giving that to Simba separately. Look at this. Look at this. He's brushing himself. So today I said, let me see if he'll eat that again in a squeeze up or a churu. And he did. And I gave it to Splash also, so they both had it. So that's good. So maybe what I'll do is I'll switch to that, and we'll see how that goes. I'm starting a spreadsheet. I started it yesterday to keep track of like everything that Splash and Simba are eating, so I could keep them on, a good variety, and they're not eating the same thing every day, and also track the amount of calories that they're getting and be able to adjust those accordingly. So like yesterday, they got around 270 calories each, but you have to remember these are very big cats. So like right now, Simba's 19 pounds and Splash is probably like 20 pounds. So we're trying to get their weight down gradually, but in general, like they're just big cats. Sammy's a small cat compared to Splash and Simba. Ziggy's a small cat. These guys are just big, right, Simba? But he still needs to lose a little weight. Right, Simba? You just go sleep with the brush? You're going to rest with the brush? You don't want to play? You don't want to play? Want some playtime? Look how pretty. Look how pretty Simba's fur looks after he gets brushed. Can I have the brush? Can I have it? I'd like to brush Splash if I could. You're not going to let me have it? Okay, thank you. Thank you. Splash does not want to be brushed right now, so I'll brush him later. But see this stick? I brought the stick inside for the cats yesterday. I brought a few sticks inside because when I went on my walk, when I did my 5K yesterday, I went to a local park, and then I also walked along the woods. And I was looking for some kind of sticks for the cats. I don't want Simba to chew it, though. I mean, I guess he could, but that was not the goal. So what I remembered was that, when Splash and Simba were kittens and when they were living outside, their first toys were sticks and leaves and rocks and, that kind of stuff. So I thought, well, maybe they would enjoy having a stick. Like it would be some new smells for them, and maybe it would bring back some memories. So yesterday we were playing with the stick for a while. They like it when I poke it underneath the scratch and roll. They like it when I poke underneath fabric. Actually, yesterday Simba and I were playing with this quilt from Sharon, and I put the stick under it. And Simba goes crazy. Now, if I do this with the toy, he doesn't react like this as much. There's a ton of cat hair on these blankets that I need to clean off. So when Simba chews things, it's usually because he's hungry. So I have to give them their breakfast. Simba was hunting birds this morning from the top of the cat tower. That's what he hears right now. He hears the birds outside. It is 7 a.m. Look at what's going on here. Splash and Simba are sleeping. Well, Simba's sleeping. Splash is awake. I think Simba's snoring. I thought I heard him snoring. Anyway, these two woke me up at 4:50 a.m. out of a perfectly sound sleep when they got into some kind of fight, and all I heard was Simba screaming at the top of his lungs. Now, when Simba screams like that, It doesn't mean he's being attacked. It can also mean that he's doing the attacking. It could go either way. He could be playing offense or defense. So I don't know who started it. I looked at the security cameras this morning and I could not find the origination of the fight. I did see them running through the living room. And then they ended up in my bedroom where Simba dove under the bed. So what happened was then I came out here to the play rug and I was like, what is going on? And Splash was out here. So I said, what do you want, Splash? Are you hungry? So I gave him a little bit of crunchies. And as soon as Simba heard the crunchy container, he came running out of the bedroom. And I gave him a tiny bit of crunchies also. And then no more fights. So in my mind, that meant that they were fighting over the food in the feeders. So I checked the security cameras, and sure enough, Splash ate the food out of both of the automatic feeders. And that's the problem when you have multiple cats and multiple automatic feeders. One cat could eat all the food, the other cat might not get any. And we're only talking about a little, snack at 4 a.m. So maybe I can't use the automatic feeders anymore because this is not the first time I've been woken up in the middle of the night by a fight. This has happened several times before. Maybe I'll do what I did the night before last night, is give them their snack before I go to bed, and then they're just not going to get a snack in the middle of the night. They'll get a snack when I wake up. Another thing I did last night is I kept this video running. This is just a Starry Night video. And in order to keep that running, I had to go into the settings on my Roku and change the network setting for the bandwidth saver. Normally, a Roku will stop streaming after 4 hours. So I had to shut off that setting and make it so it doesn't shut itself off. So that way the video would just play all night like it did. So I've had 2 nights in a row now that Splash has not howled at all overnight. I'm hoping that's the solution. I'm hoping the solution is just having some kind of little light on. I don't know if I'm going to keep using a video at night, or maybe I'll find some kind of other night light. So I feel like it's just some kind of puzzle I'm trying to solve and move forward in a positive direction. It's 8:30 a.m. and here's Simba. And I'm using the new scale, the new GE Fit scale that I got. I don't even know if I filmed a video about it, but I got a new scale because I wanted something that's more accurate than the scale that I've been using. Because the scale that I've been using only weighs in increments of 0.2. And I wanted something that weighed in increments of 0.1. I wish I could get a scale that actually weighs in like pounds and ounces that's accurate, but I didn't see any that weighed in pounds and ounces. So I'm going with this GE Fit scale right now. And it's really cool because it's Bluetooth and it connects with an app on your phone. So you can really track measurements. So I weighed Simba 2 or 3 days ago and he weighed 19 pounds. And then I weighed him today and he's at 18.9. So that's after 2 days of, calorie counting with a spreadsheet for what he's eating. So hopefully we're going in the right direction. Tomorrow's his official weigh-in. We'll see how we do tomorrow. And again, it's a new scale, so I just have to figure it out. I know there are fluctuations and stuff like that. So we'll see, right, Simba? But at least now Simba and Splash are on a good routine as far as, their daily meals and their snacks. So it's just a question of adjusting them so that we see small amounts of weight loss, right, Simba? Right, Simba? Because there has been no vomiting. Other than a member of the Lucky 7 vomiting a week or 2 ago, there's been no vomiting, so that's been just great. How you doing, Simba? How you doing? He's waiting for his breakfast. Thank you for watching this Lucky Ferals video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you'd like me to post more videos, and please make sure to check out these other videos that were selected especially for you.